Now that you are reaching out to brands, it is extremely important to talk about your communication style because, after all, and I've been emphasizing it from the very beginning, you are establishing human relationships. A lot of times you will become friends with people you work with, or at the very least, kind of a co-worker relationship. So it is important to make sure that you follow some, basic rules. And you have to remember that people are people. Sometimes they're in a bad mood. Sometimes they have something going on at home. Sometimes they're not feeling well. Sometimes they're under stress. So you want to make sure that when you're approaching these people who you don't know, you approach them in such a manner that they're more likely to positively respond to your inquiry. So let's go over a few basic rules here that will help you have a much higher success in establishing relationships with these brands. Now, first of all, be persistent. A lot of times, like I said, people are busy, people are stressed out. They maybe that's not the right time to contact them. So send out an email and wait. Make sure it's very short so people don't have to read a long story or whatever. Just very short, saying, "Hey, listen, I love your brand, or I came across your brand, or I saw your posting, and I would love to connect. This is my media kit." Every time you must send out the media kit, and again, there's a class for that I've posted on the Social Income Academy here. And then just kind of wait, see if they reply, and make sure that you actually have a calendar to follow up. Follow-ups is everything. People are just not going to reply to you right away, and that's why it's important to follow up. The second follow-up could be by email, but actually, if you have their phone number, and we just went over how you can get a phone number, and a lot of times it's on their website. Follow up with a phone call. Even if you have to leave a message saying, "Hey, listen, my name is so and so, and I just sent you an email. Would love to hear from you." Maybe set up a quick phone call, and that does help. Sometimes, you leave the message like that, and all of a sudden, boom, they reply to you to your email. So that's also pretty good. If you see them on LinkedIn, that make a connection, and that usually will trigger them. Oh yeah, I remember email from this person, and that also kind of triggers a possible reply. Not always, as a matter of fact, most of the time not. But again, this is all about upping your chances of maybe having a 5% reply rate from all of these contacts that you're trying to establish to 10 or 15%, which is actually not bad at all. Now, it is important to have a calendar. So if you send it out 10 or 20 emails today, make sure to create an event on your calendar in, let's say, next week. Whatever it is next week. Don't do it on Monday. Everyone's busy on Monday, maybe Tuesday and Wednesday, and say, "These are the people that I've contacted by email, and so I need to follow up on that." It is extremely important. Now, of course, don't be a pest. Don't be super annoying. Don't try to stalk people. I would say give it 3 attempts. And if it's not working, still create an event maybe in 30 days or 3 months on your calendars, and give it another shot. Again, people may be super busy. They like, okay, I don't have anything from this person. I'm not into establishing new connections right now, but things can change. They might have more people hired underneath them, so they have more help, and they may not reply themselves in another month, but they will channel it out to somebody who will. So even if you didn't get that much of a reply or interest, put it on your calendar, follow up, because there's only going to be so many people and companies and brands that you will have in your niche. So don't give up on any of the potential relationships just because they did not reply to you, even after 2 or 3 tries. So be persistent, don't be annoying, but at the same time, follow up every time. Now, the best way is, of course, at some point to get on a phone, but better yet, Skype or Zoom. Any type of visual connection is always better. Of course, phone is better than email or messaging, but the Skype or Zoom is better than a phone call. And make sure to be better than others. Make sure that your visual settings are on point. Have a professional background. So for example, when I do Zoom calls, I insist on Zoom because it's so much easier for me to work with OBS, which is the system, the software that I use for my live streaming. And so when I talk to potential sponsors and brands, I actually have the same visual representation. It's almost like I'm doing a show. It's almost like I'm talking to them from my my set, and if they've seen my videos, which a lot of times they do check out your content, they're like, yeah, this is very familiar. Yeah. And I would put the name of their brand, or some sort of a picture of their brand in a little square here. So they're like, wow, he actually, went out of his way to set it all up for us, even though it took me about, I don't know, 30 seconds to prep it. So this becomes more of a professional thing. Now, you don't have to do it from your background set or whatever it is. As long as it's a business setting, you could even be at the airport. Hey, you say, I'm traveling, but I'm still taking this call. Make sure it's not a bathroom at the background, or a local bar. Make sure it's maybe an airplane or something. Just take care of your background. Make sure that sound is good. Nobody wants to fight to hear what you're saying, so make sure that the sound is good. Make sure there's not much of a background noise. Make sure your dogs, cats, pets, whatever, are not making any kind of nuisance noise. Make sure that the environment is set, and they know that you have their full attention, because a lot of times they will do the same. So make sure to get on Skype or phone call. Of course, the ultimate is an in-person meeting, but a lot of times people are all over the place and different parts of the country and a planet. So make sure to just be better than others, right? Somebody will take that phone call and maybe even Skype call, and they're just going to be in their bedroom or on their couch. And if you literally appear more professional, they will certainly give you credit for that. And again, remember, it's about building trust. It's about showing them that you're professional. It's about showing all the skills and things that they would appreciate you, that will make up for the fact that do not have a million followers. It is the human connection and professionalism that should draw them in. Email signatures are also very important. There are free builders out there that will help you do that. In my case, this is actually mine, where it automatically in the Google Mail kind of puts it at the end of each email. It's my picture. So a lot of times people communicate by email, but they don't really know what you look like. It's good to put, again, visual connection is always good, so make sure to get a good picture. Boom, they know what you look like, especially if you're going to meet one day or talk on the Skype or Zoom. They kind of want to know who they're talking to. Make sure there's an email address there, that the phone number is there, and all kinds of other ways how to reach you, especially you're a social media influencer. Make sure that they know where to click to check you out on social media. So everything they need to know should be in their signature. It doesn't take that much time to do it, because those free builders will do that. There are also paid builders where you can pay, I don't know, I think $10 or $20 to have them create a signature if you're very particular about what it is. But this was created with a free builder, and I'm pretty happy with it. Another thing, and this hard to teach this, but be personal, right? It's hard to teach how to be personal, but here's how. When you're establishing these connections, and when you're having that phone call, whether it's the first one or 10th one, don't just go straight to business. I mean, yes, get to business at some point, but a lot of times people don't do business while doing business. Be a human being. Try to make a friend. Again, they will probably end up on some sort of level of friends or acquaintances with you if you were to have a real relationship with this brand. So start from the very beginning. Ask them, if there's some current events or weather events going on in the area. Ask them how things are going over there. Ask them if what they're doing for the weekend. If they mention their kids, a lot of times people say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm taking this phone call from home, and my kid is like, oh, really? Yeah. How old is your kid?" And I mean, just be a human being. Just talk to them, the real people. Get to know them, because it's not only creating a better relationship with them just generally, but it's good for you to know who you're talking to. It's good for you to get to know people who you're going to be doing business with. It's good on both sides. So make that human connection first. You don't have to talk about their kids for half an hour, but make an attempt. Sometimes people don't want to talk about it at all. They'll just say, "We're doing fine," and they'll get right into business. But at least make an attempt. It does go a long way. It really, really does go a long way, because telling you at the end of the day, it's all about the relationship. And only after that, your rates, what you can offer, your audience, and so all of that stuff. Like everything else is an immediate kid, but most important thing is right here. It's you, your personality, and in your attempt to connect on a human level. And lastly, and I can't believe I have to say it, but still, make sure to make as little of spelling and grammar mistakes. Listen, at this point, a lot of people not really good spellers, myself included, and I'm definitely not very good at grammar because English is a second language for me. And even if it wasn't, people make mistakes. So absolutely 100% have a spell checker built in into whatever email client you're using. So a lot of times they'll just highlight the words that are misspelled. If you don't have that, put it through a spell check every time. I don't care how much of a rush you are. If you're making a spelling errors and grammar errors, that's just unprofessional. That will lower you in their eyes a lot of times, and you don't want that. There are services out there like Grammarly that will actually attempt to correct your grammar mistakes. Not always, not perfectly, but they'll certainly they'll give you some basic pointers, especially spelling the words there and there, it's and it's with apostrophe. That stuff is important. Again, please appear as professional as possible, so spelling and grammar is the must. But let me just circle back one more time and repeat it for a thousandth time. You're creating a human relationship, so all of this all of this well and good, and professionalism and the way to contact people and the way to go about it. But most importantly, please try to make friends. After all, you're doing this because you want this life of being your own boss and doing what you love for a living. That includes dealing with people that you like and not dealing with people you don't like, correct? So make friends because they are the people that you like. And again, the friendships, the good human relationships will take you further than any statistics, subscriber count, or media kit. So I would say save this class, make some notes, and revisit it every month. It's really kind of easy to get off course and skip some of these basic rules because you think you got it, things are going very well, but trust me, these are all things that you need to do right now, but also in 5 years down the road when you're a professional, then you're maybe already doing it full time. So make sure to stick to these very basic principles because they're not just good for social media influencers reaching out to brands, but overall in your life. So let's get started. Let's contacting some brands.